Hey guys, what's up? It's Dragon Lord Rock 86. I figured I would do a review of Deadite Ash from Evil Dead 2. I was debating for a long time about opening this guy. I wasn't sure about it, but literally the way they shaped the box, you can't really stand it up. So it's really just more of an taking up of space type of deal. So I figured I'll open him and review him. Evil Ash, however, stands quite well inside his box, so I think I'm going to keep him in there. So anyways, without further ado, give me a moment while I open this box, and I will see you guys directly after. Okay guys, so I got Deadite Ash out of the box. Let me say first off, this is the second NECA figure that I've opened that had that kind of packaging that he had, and I'm beginning to really like these little poster graph things that they give you with the incredible artwork. I love that. And, it even shows you on the back who, the other figures in the series. There's regular Ash, which I haven't been able to locate yet. Actually, no, I'm wrong. I've seen it at Comic-Con, but I really wasn't as interested in that one as I was in this one, because I liked Deadite Ash. I thought it was a really good spin of the Evil Dead series, and it's not even really a sequel, it's a actual remake, but I thought it was a really good spin on the whole Evil Dead thing, because Ash is supposed to be the superhero, the man to fight the evil and everything, and then him turning bad and turning evil. Those of you who have seen Army of Darkness know that there's another version of Ash that turns evil, but seeing him as a Deadite, and not just some demon that's the leader of an army of Deadite skeletons and stuff like that from Army of Darkness, it's just awesome. I just love the way they did him, and the figure looks exactly spot on to the way he looked in the movie, which I really like. But let's look at his accessories first before we look at the initial figure. This was also my big selling point, was seeing that they were selling that there's a Necronomicon that comes with it. This isn't my favorite version of the Necronomicon. I like the Necronomicon from the first movie, and I actually my favorite Necronomicon version is from the Army of Darkness. I think the Army of Darkness one was spot on and it looked way better. But the sequel version is pretty awesome as well. I like it. Not very much, the paint and everything looks really good. I think they could have did more to make it look make it pop more, to make it, painting the inside of its mouth, or something to make it pop more. But I think they did a really good job on it. I'm not disappointed at all that the book does not open. I actually like it. It's more of a better holding piece with the fact that the book doesn't open. But now let's look at this figure himself. Now, I've seen the movie. I'm a big fan. I own the movie. Deadite Ash is absolutely amazing. The sculpt they used for his face, the whiteness of his eyes, this just really replicated to the movie. I love it. The muddy, water, mud water, whatever you want to call it, mud puddle or whatever he fell in when he first became, Deadite Ash. It's in detail all over his shirt in this figure, and it's exactly in the same places that it was in the movie, which I really like. It's the little details that make the figure, in my opinion, aside from the fact of the articulation factor. His pants, nothing really special detail, going on there, just regular pants. Looks like there's a piece of thread, random piece of cloth thread that I'm gonna have to chop off. That's on the seam, that's coming out of the seam. Shoes, again, nothing special going on there. Just basic brown shoes. No real detail going on there, except there's the fact that, you know, he still wore this stuff in the movie, which is good. His shirt has the most detail of everything in this figure. You can see the water, mud, damage, whatever, on his shirt. And it goes all, speckles all the way down his sleeve, into the bottom of his sleeve. But then there's the figure himself. Like I said, there's actually a little gripe that I have with this figure. I love this figure. It's amazing. But to those of you that have this figure, you'll notice this. I'm not sure if this is irrelevant, if this is in the movie or not. If it is, forgive me. But if you look real close at his face, at his Deadite face, and then you look at the rest of his like, you know, his ears, his neck and that, and like partial parts of his forehead up here, you'll notice that it's like there's this whole face is like white up until that point, and it kind of makes it look like it's a face painted mask or something, which I don't like, because that kind of, that's I mean, forgive me, I'm not sure. I mean, okay, so it's not part of his forehead, it's blood going down his face. Well, blood and mud going down the side of his face, which is cool and everything. But here again, since NECA decided not to do the detail under the clothing, you can see his neck just looks like a basic like Barbie doll neck, and not, you know, not like Ash's neck. And I'm sure I remember him having like mud and like blood and stuff all over the side of his all over his neck too, from being like head first in that puddle. But you know, I mean, I'm pretty sure it's an early figure. I'm not sure when exactly they built. Yeah, 2014. That was a year ago. They could have perfected his, you know, details. Like, even if they didn't want to do underneath his clothing, they could have done like the rims of his neck, so that way it looked, you know, that way it looked like it fit. But that's like the only gripe that I have with this figure. Now, I mean, yet anyways, I haven't checked to see what his posability is yet. So let's check that out now. His arm will go up and down. Not much movement here because of the shirt that he's wearing. Not much movement as far as going up on his shoulder. But I think that his arm on his, you know, could go all the way around. His elbow will move up and down. Not very much limitation on his elbow because the shirt really doesn't cut off this posability on his elbow. His arm, I'm not gonna move his hand, but his hand will move up and down. But if you look at his hand, it's on one of those really cheap joints that will, you know, if bent enough, will break. And it kind of looks, yeah, there's some factory defects here with the paint. I'm trying to show you guys you guys can see there's like paint chip or whatever here. It's like actually a piece of the plastic or something, and yeah, I don't want to do any bending because that'll probably immediately break it, and then I'll be really upset. But his other arm, I think I'll be able to move the joint on if there's any. Man, this one's got some serious paint damage too. What the hell? And this is sealed in the box. It's never been opened. But anyways, shoulder has the same posability. Elbow, the same posability. Hand, again, will move up and down, but there's some serious paint issues with this hand as well, and I don't want to risk, you know, breaking this hand off. His waist, his waist actually does move side to side. It could move a full 360 degrees if it wasn't for his t-shirt. His leg, his leg is like, it doesn't move just straight up and down, it just moves like this by the hip. Yeah, that's all it moves there. His knee will move full, you know, it's on a hinge joint. His foot has a little pivot not much of anything going on there. His other leg would be the same way. Now his head, I'm going to see if I can get his head to move. Nope. There's really nothing going on there. If you try to force it, I guarantee it'll break. Very happy with this figure. However, very disappointed with the hands. It could have been, they could have done a more detail like even if it's just a little expensive, they could have did that extra detail on his hand to make it where if you move his hand, it's not going to snap off. And I've had my fair share of figures when I was younger with hands like this that had those little joints on them that as soon as I moved it like twice back and forth, boom, broke off, and they're like impossible to fix. I mean, at least I haven't tried. I mean, I'm not a big action figure repair guy and whatnot, but yeah, even if you try to do it again, it won't be original like it was, which sucks. And I just really don't like that. I don't know why they're cheaping up the hinges on these figures. My Freddy figure from A Nightmare on Elm Street 2 that I previously reviewed, it had the hinges, those kind of hinges in his ankles, to where if you moved it up and down enough, obviously it'll break. But this is the cheapest hinges that I've seen on NECA figures. But I mean, it could be just because I'm just now getting into opening and reviewing them. I have a bunch, but regardless, this is a very good figure and it's a very good display piece. Obviously, if you buy this figure, you're not buying it to play with, you're buying it for display. So in that area, it's perfect. But if you're buying it to play with, there's collectors out there that play with their merchandise, that play with their collectibles as well as display them, and I have no problem with that. That's everybody, each to their own. That doesn't bother me. I mean, I was a kid, I used to play with toys a lot, or collectibles. Okay, I'm sorry, collectibles, and there's no problem with I mean, toys were meant to be played with, figures were meant to be played with, and I mean, just like most figures were meant to come out of their boxes and to be displayed in their entirety. So I'm not slamming people that like to play with their collectibles as well as display them. I'm all for that. I don't do it myself. But anyways, I better get off the subject before I get a bunch of hate comments and people unsubscribe because whatever. But regardless, if you are buying this guy to play with and not to display, I would not suggest getting him because, like I said, the shoulder posability is crap because of the t-shirt. But again, it's not a big drawback. The biggest drawback is his hands. You move his hands enough, they're gonna snap off completely. So yeah, it's not really worth buying him to play with as much as buying him to display. So yeah, I just thought that same thing with the Nightmare on Elm Street 2 Freddy that I reviewed, because of the hinges that are on his ankles and because of the claws, the very weak, frail, fragile glove claw that he has. So yeah, most NECA figures are more than likely meant to be displayed and not played with, but here again, some people do, and I have no issues with them, just like they have no issues with me, as far as I know anyway. But yeah, I'm getting off that subject here again. I don't want to get a bunch of people comment and hate on me. So yeah, please like, comment, subscribe, guys. I will be posting a gameplay video here today at some point, even if it's still uploading or rendering. Even if it's just rendering today, it will be available tomorrow because I will upload it before I go to work, just to let you guys know that. So look for that. It's probably going to be Mind Scare, and Doom 3 will probably resume on its usual time, Wednesday, somewhere in that area. just to let you guys know, just to give you an update on it. But before I go, one last look at the amazingness that is the Evil Dead 2 Deadite Ash figure. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Please subscribe to my buddies over on Horror Addicts. They're really awesome. They do all kinds of horror movie reviews, unboxings, and such. Check them out. They're awesome as hell. So yeah, that's all I gotta say. Like I said, there will probably be a Mind Scare video up today at some point. If not, it'll be up tomorrow morning at some point, so look for that. I'll see you guys in the next video. It's Dragon Lord Rock 86 out. Fuck the book and the prime time, bitch.